There comes a moment in life when the structure you relied on collapses. A relationship ends. A career dissolves. A plan you built your identity around quietly disintegrates. And in that silence, one question echoes. What now? When things fall apart, the instinct is panic. But collapse is not always destruction. Sometimes it is revelation. Let us examine what truly happens when the scaffolding disappears. When stability vanishes, it reveals what was fragile to begin with. We often confuse routine with security. We confuse familiarity with permanence. We confuse attachment with meaning. When something falls apart, it exposes the difference. We believe we control outcomes because we control effort. We work hard. We plan carefully. We invest emotionally. But effort does not guarantee permanence. Collapse forces confrontation with uncertainty. It dismantles the illusion that life is linear and manageable. This realization can feel cruel, yet it is clarifying. Once you accept that control was partial at best, you stop blaming yourself for forces beyond your reach. Responsibility remains. Illusion dissolves. Often, what hurts most is not the loss itself, but the identity attached to it. I am the successful one. I am the stable partner. I am the reliable provider. When the external structure falls, the identity shakes. But identity built on circumstance is inherently unstable. Collapse invites a deeper question. Who are you without the role? This is not philosophical abstraction. It is psychological reconstruction. When things fall apart, discomfort feels permanent. But pain is usually a bridge, not a residence. The mind interprets disruption as danger. It searches urgently for immediate replacement. This urgency often leads to impulsive decisions. When a structure collapses, the impulse is to rebuild quickly. New relationship, new project, new distraction. But immediate reconstruction often replicates old patterns. Pause. Allow the dust to settle. In stillness, you see the design flaws that existed before collapse. Rebuilding without reflection repeats instability. Rebuilding with awareness creates structural integrity. Time is not avoidance, it is calibration. Modern culture encourages constant positivity and forward motion. Yet there is strength in enduring discomfort without numbing it. Sitting with uncertainty trains psychological resilience. It teaches you that anxiety rises and falls, that sadness crests and recedes, that emptiness eventually shifts. Endurance builds capacity, and capacity prepares you for complexity. When something falls apart, space appears. At first, the space feels like absence, but absence is also possibility. Sometimes we remain in situations not because they are fulfilling, but because they are familiar. Collapse interrupts inertia. Without interruption, dissatisfaction can stretch for decades. When something ends unexpectedly, it removes the comfort of stagnation. You are forced to confront new choices. That confrontation can be uncomfortable, but it is also liberating. After collapse, priorities shift. You begin to distinguish between what was essential and what was decorative. Status loses appeal. Superficial validation feels hollow. Energy becomes more carefully allocated. When everything is stable, values can drift unnoticed. When things fall apart, clarity sharpens. You rebuild not merely with ambition, but with discernment. When things fall apart, the immediate instinct is to restore what was lost. But consider this possibility. What if collapse is not interruption, but correction? Not punishment, but redirection. There is a phase after breakdown where the noise fades, the panic subsides, the mind grows quieter. In that quiet, something subtle emerges, a different version of yourself, less attached to certainty, more aware of impermanence, more deliberate in choice. Life does not guarantee stability. It guarantees change. The question is not whether structures will fall. They will. The question is who you become when they do. Over the next few days, reflect on one collapse in your past. What illusion did it expose? What capacity did it build? What freedom did it create that you did not initially recognize? Often only in hindsight do we see that what fell apart was never meant to hold forever. And perhaps what feels like loss today is quietly preparing you for a more grounded, intentional future. Stay with that thought. Because understanding collapse is not a single conversation, it is an ongoing reorientation, and sometimes what falls apart clears the ground for something more aligned to grow.